Hi guys, good evening everyone. I'm so sorry we're behind schedule. Wow, we're about 20 minutes behind schedule. My apologies. I came in pretty late tonight. Hi guys.
Jesus, you're my melody and harmony. Sweet Jesus, you're the eyes that I see through. Sweet Jesus, yes, I'll dance into your tune. For as the deer pants for water, so
hello, good evening everyone.
For you, forever.
Welcome to Live Chat with Lawyer Precious. I am so sorry guys that we are behind schedule.
No battery, please charge.
So I'm just waiting for my guests to come online and
no battery, please charge. No battery, please charge. No battery.
hi, our guest is here.
No battery, please charge.
Okay, well, I'm waiting for the friend
no
request.
Battery, please charge. No battery, please charge.
Hi, good evening guys. Good evening everyone. I'm so sorry, tonight's live chat is a little bit clumsy. I went in, okay, I guess it's already sending. So that's why we're starting late tonight. I am so sorry. I've sent friend request to my guests. Hi. Good evening, Madam. My apologies. I was just apologizing to the audience. I went out and I came in a little bit late. In fact, I came in past 9. I had to just quickly rush into the shower, and that is why I'm late. I'm so sorry, guys. It's unlike me. I'm always here even before 9 o'clock. I'm so sorry. Apologies to my guests. Her first time on the show, rather, and I didn't get to turn her in time. I'm so sorry. Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's live chat with Lawyer Precious. It's going to be a very interesting one. I promised you guys that I was going to bring in real estate guru, and she's here live and direct. She's here live and direct. I don't know why. I'm trying to load your profile. I don't know why it's not loading because I'm supposed to read the profile. Oh, goodness me. This network is just wonderful. Okay, so I have Barrister Adaku here with me. She's a real estate lawyer, a real estate consultant, into property transaction, anything that you need to know about the legal aspects of property transaction, property management, property inheritance, transfer, anything, everything real estate. Our guest tonight is here and she's going to be educating us on 5 things to note and do before you invest in real estate. And I just want to say here that in case you have any question, please drop your question in the comment section. And once we are done with the conversation for tonight, We're going to be taking the question one after the other. And then any other thing that we're not saying here and you need to get clarification, whether from myself or from the guest that is coming, that is going to be talking tonight, please, you know that you have to book a consultation for that. So take the opportunity and drop your question in the comment section. You have that liberty, and then we will respond. But if you have to come into our DM to ask any question, or into the DM of our guests to ask any question, you know that that is an official consultation, so you have to like book a consultation section. Okay, thank you very much, madam. You're welcome.
Thank you, Lawyer Precious. It's
Yes,
a privilege to be here with you tonight.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for finding out time out of your very busy schedule, to do this. And I really need to tell the the audience tonight that you've been so wonderful. I told you, like, probably into the mid of the week, though you were supposed to be scheduled. I told you into the mid of the week, and you agreed, and I'm so grateful for that. I do not take people's time for granted, and so I apologize for coming online a little bit late, not even a little bit late tonight. I'm so sorry for that, and I'm so sorry that your profile is not loading. The messages are entering, but I'm not seeing your profile.
We can do the
sorry, yeah, I'm still going to read it. I know before we are done tonight, your profile is definitely going to come up. Okay, so now that I haven't read your profile, please tell us something about yourself, how you came into the legal space, how you pinch your tent in the real estate industry, what you've been able to achieve so far, your experiences when it comes to property transaction, real estate as a whole. Just tell us something about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Adaku Chibike Ochua. I'm a legal practitioner, definitely. I have almost 10 years in the legal, about 10 years in the legal profession, and with specialties in the real estate space. Okay, how did I get into the real estate space? I noticed that during service year, when we were posted into our different places of assignment. Yes. Okay, so I was posted into the Ministry of Justice in Abeokuta. And fortunately, they were asking everybody, where do you want to go to? So I was, because I run a girl child advocacy stuff. So I was like, I wanted to do human rights. And so I was waiting for them to ask me where I wanted to go to. And about 2 people before me, they stopped asking the questions and they started deciding, okay, you go to civil, you go to commercial, and I was like, now why will it be when it gets into my turn that you would decide to change the rules? And the woman said something very phenomenal. She said, sometimes always believe that your steps are ordered by the Lord. I was like, why is it when it's my turn that my steps will be ordered by the Lord? However, to cut the long story short, she said, okay, so do you still want to choose where you want to go? So I said, no, fine, I'm all right. So while I was serving in Abeokuta, most of the cases I was handling, most of the cases I was researching on was on property law. My boss was very wonderful, Mrs. Obienu, and the permanent secretary then, she's a judge now, Justice Shubawale. So then they would give me a lot of research and all that back then. So
I'm with you.
So they will give me a lot of research to do back then, and I just noticed that I was in the real estate space. Like, I was always doing property research. When I came back to Lagos as well, the firm I joined, we had a lot of property matters. But you know, as a young lawyer now, all your body is shaking. Like, I want to do everything. You do incorporation, you do this and all that. So I think one of the breaking points for me that's made me navigate into the real estate space was when SLB, that Strictly Law Business, organized her first conference and first academy. When Strictly Law Business organized the first conference and first academy, they talked about specialization. They said, go back to your files, go through your files and find out which cases do you handle more, and try to build a specialization around there. And I went back and I checked my files, and indeed it was a lot of property matters, deed of assignments and all that. Then while I was there trying to build my space in the real estate, expertise in the real estate sector, COVID happened. And when COVID happened, the Covenant Nation created community groups. It was online community groups. And one of the community groups that caught my interest was the real estate community group. And I said, okay, these are the people I serve. Let me go into their minds and see how they think, what they do. And I got into the CCN community group, real estate community group. And there were lots of architects, there were lots of builders, there were a lot of them. And the real estate space just got very interesting, a lot of brokers. And I could see how they were thinking. And I was like, wow, the job of a lawyer in real estate does not rise and fall on deed of assignments. In essence, we have a lot to do to regulate the real estate space. There are rules, there are regulations and all that. So that, I think that was in 2019, 2020. And ever since then, I've been in the community group. I keep learning, I keep growing, I keep researching, I keep reading my property law, I.O. Smith. I keep bringing out new novel things in it. So that's how I actually grew in the real estate space.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing. I've once attended SLB, Strictly Law Business Conference. I think the one that was organized in 2019 before the COVID, and it's a very good conference, an eye-opener for basically lawyers. I don't want to say young lawyers, because if you are new in a particular field and you've not been doing a lot of things in that field, you probably would be a young lawyer in that particular field. So it's a very good program, and thank you for sharing that experience with us. So when it comes to real estate transaction, what has been your experience? You've told us how you got into the space. Now, what has been your experience with people, colleagues, non-lawyers in real estate transaction? And then the name, you would also tell us the name of your firm and what services your firm offers to the public.
Okay, so the name of my firm is the Priceless Chamber, and we offer a lot of service around the real estate space, from due diligence, as in ensuring investigation of titles, investigation of documents of titles, verification of documents of titles. We also work with you in the real estate transaction. We work with you in the negotiation, the physical inspection of the property. If you want us to be on the negotiation table with you, with the sellers, we are there with you. We walk you through the real estate transaction that you're going into. And now some real estate transactions is not just about buying and selling. You have real estate transactions that involves developers and owners of properties. You have JVAs. So there are quite a lot of them. So we walk you through your real estate transaction in whatever shade or space you want your real estate transaction to go. We walk you through the real estate transaction.
Okay, sorry guys. The gen will soon come on. NEPA, they're doing that thing once more. Okay, thank you so much. So let's dig, because of our time, let's go down into the nitty-gritty of tonight's topic, which is 5 things to note and do before you invest in real estate. Now, the essence of having this talk, though I have even come to discover that a lot of people, irrespective of how one and try to enlighten the public, they still would always do things wrongly. But for those that are interested in knowing how to do things rightly, in knowing how to do things the legal way, the way that it should be done, um, this particular conversation is for them. So the first question is, when somebody wants to invest in real estate, like somebody walks up to you, a layman walks up to you and say, Barrister Daku, I want to invest in real estate. What would be the 5 things you would tell the person to note before investing in real estate?
Okay, so when a client walks up to me, I want to invest in real estate. The the first 5 things I always ask is, okay, so what's your purpose in investing in real estate? As what's the goal? Is it long term? Is it short term? Is it for personal savings? Or is it for personal use? Or is it for commercial purpose? Do you plan to resell? As in, do you plan to resell immediately? So what is your purpose? You need to be clear about your purpose for investing in real estate. Then the second thing I always ask is, what type of investments do you want to go into? So there are quite a lot of real estate investments you want to explore. You have the land flipping. Now, the land flipping is where you're talking about buying a land now in an area that is not so developed, but has the potential of developing soon. You buy it and you hold it. Exactly, you hold it for a while, and when you notice development has started coming into that area and you feel that, okay, it's time to sell, you sell. So that is land flipping. You're buying now to flip later. And sometimes it could be house flipping. House flipping is you buy a property, it could be a dilapidated property. It might not even be a dilapidated property, but you just buy a property at a very low rate, then you renovate and resell. So that's house flipping. So you ask yourself, what type of investment do I want to go into? Do I want to rent? Do I want to buy land? Do I want to buy a property? Then you ask yourself, okay, do I want to build it myself? Okay, if I'm building it, do I want to build it to sell, or do I want to build it and put it out there for rent? So you need to be clear about the type of investment you want to go into. I want to buy a land. Okay, I want to buy a land and leave it in future. Then I'll enter a partnership with developers to develop on the land. So you need to know, and your goal assists you in knowing. So if I'm doing it long term, that means I'm not stressing myself when I buy. I'll just ensure that I make sure my presence is known, that I register presence on the property when I purchase it, if I'm doing it for long term. Then if I'm doing it for short term, I know that it's sharp money, so I need to do the right things. Then the third thing I would always ask a client to note is the location. Now, I would like to give this example. There are 2 people very dear to my heart, and I know one of them is listening. So 2 people very dear to my heart bought properties at 2 different locations. One bought somewhere in Ogun State, another bought somewhere in Aja, like 2014. So as at today, the one who bought in Ogun State, I don't think the property has appreciated up to 50%. But the one who bought in Aja, if the person bought in Aja like in 2014, like 300K. So you can imagine what properties are selling right now in Aja. So I think there's no need explaining the return on investment. So your location is key when you want to invest. You need to look at the area you want to invest. Are there likely potentials of growth? Are there likely, it's not just that come and shall invest. Are there likely potentials?
Let me just buy. Let me be on the paper that I have the land somewhere.
Exactly. And then just look, are there likely potentials of growth? And what are the key things to look out for in a location? See if there are infrastructural developments coming soon. See if there are companies coming towards that. Look at the roads. How are there improvements on the road? As in, just look at where people are moving towards a bit. So if you want to go into property investment, that's another thing you need to note. You need to note the location where you want to invest. Then the fourth thing is, what's your budget? So I want to invest. I don't have all the money. I want to invest in Ibejuleke and they are saying it's 10 million and I don't have 10 million. So you're asking yourself, okay, so can I still invest if that's a raining location? So yes, you look at your budget. Okay, should I do it alone? Or should I call like minds? Or should I join like minds to also invest, to co-invest? Because you are doing it majorly for investment purposes. So you have to look at your budget to know how you will walk that journey of real estate. Am I going to buy it alone? So if I have the money and I'm going to go in this route on my own, awesome. Make sure that you have checked the first three things I have listed. That's your purpose, the type of investment and location, and your budget is good to go. Please feel free and make the investment. Then the final thing is your legal risks. The final things I always talk about when you want to invest, do a property investment, is your legal risks. As in, you need to be sure about the title. Not come and invest, come and buy. What is your title? What title are you giving me in that property? So what is the title on that property? Is it a gazetted property? Is it a property that has a CFO? Is it a property that is a family land, of which it doesn't necessarily have a CFO and all that? But you need to ascertain the genuineness of the property you're going to invest in. Then the documents. What are the documents around that land? What are the documents that are on the land? Is it just a deed of assignment? Does it have a registered title? You need to do that. Those are the legal risks you need to check. Then you need to have a physical inspection of the property. If you're not in the place, that if you're in diaspora and you want to invest in Nigeria, you send your people. Make sure they see it, that indeed there is something I am buying. Now this is because in law it says caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. So the buyer needs to take those extra steps to ensure that what I am investing in is real. I saw the property, I know this is the property, I know this the property exists. So that's why you want to do the physical inspection. Then finally you want to know what is the capacity the person is selling. In essence, if it's a family land, if the person is just a principal member of the family, the person can't confer title to you in totality. So it has to be the head of the family. So you want to know the capacity of the person selling. Okay, it's my father's property, and your father is still alive, and you are selling. You don't have the capacity.
You want to sell prodigal son.
You get? You don't have. So you need to know what capacity the person selling to you is selling to you. Okay, the dad is late and he wants to sell. Does he have the letters of administration and all that? So those are things you will want to check. Those are the 5 key things you want to check. Your purpose for investment, the type of investment you want to go into, the location, budget. Then your budgets. What do you have? What do you have? How far can it go? I want to invest in a good location. Okay, if I can't do it alone, let's come together to do it and invest in that place, so that later when we are reselling, we are sharing profits. Still a good deal. Then you want to, the final one, you want to know what your legal risks and legal exposure is.
Okay, thank you so much. That was really interesting. Talking about legal risk. The truth is, a lot of people do not take this thing seriously. When it comes to the legal aspect of buying property or having a legal structure, like I would love to call it, people do not readily, take cognizance of this thing. You see people purchase property just based on what is on the flyer and based on what probably the marketer is telling the prospect buyer. Now, I'm not saying marketers are liars or anything. Like, I wouldn't say that, because we own a real estate firm too that does real estate transactions. But the truth is, like I would tell a prospect client, maybe that has transaction issue, I always tell them that, see, one thing you have to be at the back of your mind is that estate developers, developing companies, real estate companies are into business. they want to make money. Whether they're genuine or not, everybody is into business to make money. And everybody is going to do all that is required of them to make money, whether legitimately or otherwise. It is now in your interest, like you said, caveat emptor, buyers beware, as a prospect buyer, to ensure that the money that you're handing over to that person or to that company, you're handing over your monies into a secured investment. By secured investment, I mean an investment that will be worth it, whatever reason you're investing. But people do not, people even believe it. Surprisingly, as a lawyer, I have seen a lot of things. People believe agents more than lawyers. Like, an agent will say something and they take it. But lawyer,
They are
no,
marketers.
ma,
They are marketers, as in they've learned the art of selling. But I think
yes.
that's one thing they should add in law school for us, the art of selling. We don't know how to market our trade.
But really, I don't think is well, I may be a little bit archaic, but I really don't think that marketing should be part of the profession itself, because everybody has their calling. Marketers will market. We are professionals, and once you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. And well, I may be wrong, but that's just how I see it. But
Okay, so
what I'm just trying to say,
what I meant by marketing is the act of convincing our clients that
oh,
we need to do
okay,
this.
that's
So
yes,
that's
yeah.
the angle I'm coming from, because obviously they would believe the agents, and most times when you as a legal person is trying to advise them, the agent feels like you're trying not to make him
Make
get the
money.
commission. Do you understand? So most times I think in the industry, quite a number of clients who are repeat clients already understand that my major goal is your quiet enjoyment of your property. So if you're coming to meet me that Ada, I have a property I'm interested in, or Ada, I want to invest in real estate, the client already knows that what I want to ensure is that where you're investing in, you can sleep and wake up and it has not disappeared.
Yeah.
So most times it's just the fact that they feel that lawyers are too stiff about certain things. But I think when they used you the first time and they see how professional you were about the jobs, there's always a repeat client. So I remember the first transaction I did in 2019. It was a 700K property, but I carried that matter on my head as if it was a
Your
17
share.
million. I carried it on my head as if it was a 17 million property. As in, I went all the way to the King's Palace because that's the community. In that community, I went all the way to the King's Palace because the property was not a registered title. So I
Wow.
couldn't search for it in the registry. So I needed to do a physical inspection. I needed to, and they were like, Eloni, how much are they paying? I said, it's not. I said,
It
for me,
doesn't matter.
whether my client is spending 700K or 7 billion, we need to ensure that they are doing the right thing. They didn't come by the money as in mistakenly. They worked for that money. So if you're going to be investing it in a property, then you should be doing it right. I think another thing that inspired me to ensure that clients are doing the right thing in property investment was when my husband, that was before we got married, he invested in a property. And when we got married, I was like, okay, let's see if we can develop this property and all that. But I told him, okay, hold on. Before we see if we can develop this property, let me go and ascertain the status of the property, what really is on the property. I took the surveyors to site and all that. We picked coordinates. And by the time we did our search, sis, it was under government acquisition.
Committed.
It was, you get, it was committed. And in essence, assuming it was just under government acquisition that you could ratify, it's a different case. But it's under government acquisition and it's committed. So it's not ratifiable. Money has changed hands. Agents have collected their money. Everybody
Has gone that way.
You get, but the client is at a loss. Now, and the law does not protect you because the
Tolerate
law,
ignorance.
exactly, because it has told you caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. So that this is why you must always go along with your lawyers in your real estate transaction, not just because of the fees, but especially, and I tell my clients that be very wise about this thing. Okay, so when they are saying, oh, but why am I paying this amount for due diligence? I said that due diligence amount you are paying for can save you from spending 80 million on the wrong property. So sometimes you look at it as a legal insurance or a risk
Yeah.
insurance, sure that what I am buying is indeed what I ought to buy. And if at the end of the day you verify and it's good to go, it's good. At least you're certified. That means tomorrow if the government comes to either demolish or reclaim that place, you are
You have
entitled to
compensation.
compensation.
Yeah.
That's why it's always necessary to educate the clients that, and I've almost of my clients know that I will not do your deed of assignment if you don't do your due diligence.
What are you going to put in the recital? That's the question. There's no
Exactly.
what do you put in the recital? Is it the words of the mouth of the
There's
seller
a
or the words of the mouth of the buyer?
Even if there's a recital, like even if the other party gives you a deed of assignment and all that, and there's a recital, that especially for lands that are not registered, I will still go all out to ensure that I have done my bits to make sure that your property is fit for purpose. So if
Yeah.
you're saying, okay, and they brought their deed of assignment, yeah, I know they brought their deed of assignment. Let's go and
How many
verify
years
that.
ago? Do you know whether
Let's go and
there's a
verify
mortgage
that
on
it's
it?
you. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, that we need to learn the art of marketing, as in so to say, that's ensuring that the client understands the need
What we are
for this
presenting.
or for what we are presenting, not just because of the fees, but because it is going to ensure that you are getting the right property, the right value and everything.
All right, thank you so much. In fact, you have actually touched on every possible question I would have asked for tonight. So, in summary, what would be your general advice to prospect investors out there? That's on one hand. And on the other hand, those that have invested and they have gotten their hands burnt. Like, especially in this Lagos state.
My
Even
sister,
as a lawyer,
don't let us talk
even as
about
a
Ogun State.
lawyer, even as a
Don't
lawyer, if
let
you
us
don't
talk
shine
about
your
Ogun
eye,
State.
even as a lawyer, if you don't shine your eye in this Lagos state, they will sell you express road and come and allocate government government
I'm
express
telling you,
road.
exactly. So
You
it's
see, it's just
very
flying here and there. It's just like so. Your advice for prospect investors and investors that have had their hands burnt, what can they do? What is the way out for them?
okay. So Dr. Titi, thank you for joining in, ma. Okay, so Dr. Bumi, thank you for joining in. Okay, so yeah, she said don't forget Ogun State though. Okay. See, Ogun State and it's lands under acquisition, no be here. It's plenty. So for prospects and those who have gotten their hands burnt, it's for those who have gotten their hands burnt. It takes a while for you to trust the game. But what I would say to you is that do it the right time. Do it the right way. They said a person who does the same thing over and over again and expects a different result is only kidding himself. So if you
Yeah.
got your hands burnt the last time, this time do it with a sound real estate lawyer, as in people that are going to guide you through the process. Why did I say that? I remember a friend gisting me that a client wanted to buy a property and she was going there to inspect, and I was like, okay, so are you going with your workmen to ensure that the property is not under acquisition? And she said, that they've given me a survey plan. I said, sis, survey plan alone
Traditional
is not
survey
enough.
plan.
I said because they can pick the coordinates of another place and put
And
the heading of that particular property there. So you must ensure that you are working with the right lawyers, the people who understand the real estate space. You must ensure you're also working with sound lawyers that understand, most times and whether you like it or not, professional services are not cheap. Professional services,
People
especially in
don't
real
understand it.
estate,
Oh. People don't understand it. They think personal
especially in real
services.
estate industry. If you don't want to get your hands burnt, professional services in the real estate industry is not charge and bill. You need to work with professionals. And like I said, ensuring that you get good professional service when you want to do a real estate transaction gives you peace of mind that what I am buying is good to go.
Now, sorry to interject. Let me just interject you a little bit. Now, one other thing I tell people, in addition to what you're saying, like legal protection and insurance, in addition, where you had engaged a professional, most likely a lawyer, to help you in the transaction process and due diligence and all of that, and then the lawyer did not do the job correctly, you can go after that lawyer for professional negligence. So, like you said, it's also an insurance. Insurance
Exactly.
over the buyer, the insurance over the professional that is rendering that service. So, at the end of the day, you are the one that will enjoy the entire benefit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's for investors that have gotten their hands burned. You can get it right. You can get it right. And this time, if you want to get it right, go with professionals. Go with professionals, sound lawyers in the real estate industry. Go with professionals. Let them guide you on how to do good investment in real estate industry. Then for prospects, Vico, don't get your hands burned. Do it right. It's better than cure. So do it right. Start right. Do it right. Get professionals. Okay, so I remember there was a time I was interested in snail farming and all that, and and I gathered this. I gathered the snails in my compound because I have a garden and I gathered the snails there, and in 2 weeks I did not see one. So
particular insect that eats them up.
So exactly. So this is not your field. I told myself, get a professional who is going to teach you the ropes. So whether we like it or not, we need to pay for such services, especially in real estate industry. Real estate is not try your luck. It's not try your
with millions of naira. Try your luck with millions when it's not cryptocurrency already.
Rather, make sure you're doing secured investments. And okay, what I would also like to say to prospective buyers is it's not just enough to buy a land. Ensure you register your presence. Even where you don't have enough cash to begin to process your COO or governor's consent, register your presence. One good thing about land is it is immovable. So people already know. So even people in the community, when others are coming, they will so Iyalagbaja wants to sell that house. You will hear the gist, because that is the beauty of real estate industry. So it's not just enough to buy a property. It's not just enough to buy a land. Register your presence. Make sure it is known that you are there. You can put in tenants, you can put in farmers, whatever you want to do. Just register your presence.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful chat with you. Definitely, you're going to be invited again. that one is sure. This is we're just warming up. It's like an introductory chat. We're warming up because it was great. It was enlightening. It was eye-opening, and personally, I learned a lot. So, in fact, I'll be telling my clients now, when you do diligence is professional insurance, like you called it. So that I learned something new today. All right, so it seems like nobody has questions today because I've not seen any question in the comment section. I'm just seeing comments here. So guys, we're already behind time. You say?
Okay, I was thanking. I saw one of my persons join in, so I was thanking her for joining in.
Oh, okay. So just in case, for those that don't have questions, that's fine. I want to apologize again for bringing Barrister Daku late tonight. It was actually my fault. In fact, when I wanted to come on, go live, I discovered that you had called me 19 minutes back. So, and I think I was in the shower then, and so I apologize. Don't worry, she's going to come back again. That one is sure. Going to come back again. That one is absolutely sure. So thank you, madam, for tuning in tonight.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate. Yeah, thank you. So we hope to see you next time when we invite you. All right. So
Yes.
her DM is open for consultation. Obviously, it's professional advice that you're looking for now. It is the brain work, and that is where our money is in the brain.
Yeah.
Where
And aside
money is
from
in the
that,
brain.
I actually do a lot of, if you go to my page, either my personal page, Barrister Dapo, on Instagram, or my writing page, that's Nigeria Real Estate Lawyer, you'll see a lot of resources about real estate there. There are quite a lot
That
of
you
free
could read up.
resources there. Yes, that you can read up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Thank you, madam, for coming. God bless you. Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you so
Thank you.
much.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you all for
Good night.
tuning in. Next week, I am having Mr. Fola in the building. Nigeria foremost mediator and mediation advocate. So he's going to be talking about a whole lot. I personally have been looking up to this opportunity with Mr. Fola. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please do not forget to tune in next week, Saturday by 9 p.m. I promise, I cross my heart. I'm going to be early next week, Saturday. All right, Mr. Taku, thank you.
It's all right.
Love
It
you,
was nice
madam. Good night,
meeting you. Thank
everyone.
you.
See you next week, Saturday. Bye.
Bye.